I'm here with Audrey Cummings, the filmmaker behind a new Western called Place of Bones. Really enjoyed this Western. So, the main thing, Audrey, did the script really attract you first, or are you a lifelong Western enthusiast, or maybe both?
I guess both. I always really wanted to take on a Western and, experience what it's like the old Wild West, the 1800s frontier. But this script came to me from a production company in Montreal, Canada. And as soon as I read it, I was like, holy crap, I've never seen a female-led Western before. Like two strong female characters in a Western. So I was like, this film is perfect for me. And I called the producers right away and said, I'm in.
I mean, when you look at Heather Graham's career, just a very diverse career, I still think even though she's a celebrated actress, she's oftentimes, I think, taken for granted and underrated as a just thespian. You know better than me. What was it like working with her, and what did she bring? What did she bring to the project?
She's amazing. I mean, first of all, let me start by saying she's a wonderful person. Like so collaborative and kind and genuine. She's no like Hollywood attitude of, I mean, she is just such a gem. And what I really, really liked about her is she really dug in, like she worked hard before coming to set on her character and figuring out what women were like in the 1800s. And like she just did a lot of pre-work coming into it. And she had to work hard to get a Western dialect as well. She had a dialect coach to learn how to speak in that Western slang, and which she nailed. And then on set, like she was just very collaborative and very open to just, working together and figuring out, what the best, I don't know, what the best way of delivering this character to the screen would be. And I thought she nailed it. She did such a good job. So completely, the reason she did a really good job is so completely opposite to her, right? Pandora is cold and, calculated and dark. And Heather is just bright and joyful. So she did a really good job acting.
This movie, it doesn't really follow one person as he or she goes through a linear path. There's
Mhm.
almost intersecting stories. So, just in layman's terms, what was it like just prepping and setting up your shot list? Because it's all over the place in a good way. And talk about visualizing and the challenge of actually helming so many different locations and making
Yeah.
those stories converge.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I had never, for one, so Calhoun's character, Corin Nemec had to play basically in a bed the whole film. I don't want to spoil anything, but I mean, that's a challenge by itself. For him as an actor, it's a challenge. And for me as a director, it's a challenge trying to keep these very long scenes, interesting because you're just, in that one room with his character anyways. And then you've got the bad guys who are out on the range riding horses and doing stuff. And then you've got, the surrounding farmhouse and barn and it was really fun. Like I had the opportunity to work with Andre Sekula was our cinematographer. And Andre's, I mean, he did Pulp Fiction. He did Reservoir Dogs. He's amazing. And so I was really lucky. I had him for 3 weeks. He came and lived on this ranch house at the ranch with me. And for 3 weeks, we just walked the grounds every single day and figured out our shots and how we wanted everything to look and where it was going to be. And so I was really lucky because I'd never had that experience with a cinematographer before where I get his undivided attention for 3 weeks to figure out everything. So when we started shooting, it was just, we knew what we wanted to do. So it was really great.
Just on your filmmaking career, just in your journey, can you name just one piece of advice that was the most important for you in your growth as far as filmmaking advice and what made it so special for you, that advice?
I mean, the one thing my mentor always told me was you like the more you prep, the better your film is going to be. And that's all I do is I prep and prep and prep. I work so hard breaking down each individual scene, like what's the heart of the scene, how does that feel to the bigger story? What's the ins and the out of every scene? It's really important just to have like I shot list, I do an overhead schematic where camera and actors are gonna like, the dance between the actors and the camera. I work that out. I do storyboards if I need to for certain scenes where there's action and things I want to convey to the cinematographer. And so I come in like really, really well prepped. And it often falls apart because there's so many bad things that go wrong every day on the film set. Like I've never had one day in my life of shooting where nothing has gone wrong. So everything always goes wrong. But because you're so well prepped, you can absorb all the I don't know what you want to call it, the
Just the what the
just
deterrence or yeah.
the shock that comes your way, like all the bad stuff that happens, you can absorb it because you're so well prepped. And so I'm like, okay, I can get away without this shot and this shot, and I can converge this and do that. And you just have all the puzzle pieces. So, when things happen, you can still put a puzzle together, which is good.
You probably watched your film in the edit so many times, but is it kind of cool for you as a cinephile to know that you were able to, you and your DP were able to set up some of those great Western hero shots, like the outlaws overlooking that mountain ridge,
Oh,
the POV shot with Heather Graham coming out of the door and you're just following her for a second out into that expanse. How cool was that? Just,
so cool. It's so rewarding. You dream it up, and then on the day when it's lit and it's shot and everything's like, and you're just watching on your monitor, and you just know, like, oh my God, this is so gorgeous. And everybody around the monitor is like, oh my God, it's so nice. It feels so rewarding.
I mean this as a huge compliment when I say this is a very lean, mean
Yeah.
Western. And a lot of people say, oh, well, but it needs all these things and dressings and everything. But I think one of my favorites, Bud Boddicker, or some of the great Western filmmakers, they just keep things lean and mean. Is there sort of a science to that? And is that an underrated thing where you can say something is a very tight Western? It seems a lot harder than one would think, right?
Yeah, it's hard. Um, it's hard to make it look easy. And I also have the luxury of working with one of my favorite editors ever, Mike Mason. He's edited all my films with me, pretty much all my films. And, we have a similar vision in terms of lean and mean, and so not too much, but the thing is with this film, it had to be lean and mean because it's a slow burn. So it's one of the things I loved about is like one of the A24 films where they take their time to like let you sit in the world and feel what the characters are feeling and uncover bit by bit what, who the characters are and what they're experiencing. And then we hit hard later. And so in that, first 3/4 or whatever, when it's more dramatic and more, you got to be really lean and mean because otherwise you have a 3-hour movie.
Audrey, final question. Okay, so after watching Place of Bones, our listeners are gonna. I do a podcast where I ask filmmakers to just suggest films for our listeners to watch right off the top of your head. Can you name a film that was very influential for you, not just as a filmmaker, but as a cinephile, and what makes this movie so resonant for you?
Oh my God. There's so many
I
great
know
films.
it's hard. Yeah.
Like a film that,
Resonates with you, maybe that inspires you as a filmmaker that you maybe go back to time and time again and just watch. I know it's hard just to pick
yeah, it's
one.
hard. I mean, Alien, how many times have I seen that? Any Steven Spielberg movie. uh, I mean, one of my turning points was E.T. With that film changed me, almost made me become a filmmaker. Um, oh my God, in the horror space, anything Mike Flanagan. Oh my God, there's so many. I don't know.
Well, then my final question is I'm so excited to see your next stuff after Place of Bones. Where do you see? I'm sure this is, I don't know, I haven't seen your other stuff, but this I really enjoyed it. And I'm really looking
Thank
forward to
you.
what your future as a filmmaker. What can I expect? What can we expect down the road from you?
Well, so in terms of features, I have another feature that I'm shooting this fall, and it's another Western, a very different style of Western is all I can hint to. It's super cool. Like super fucking cool is all I want to say about it.
And
And very different.
so you're saying you're all about prep. So you've been prepping a little bit for this project because it's coming right around the corner, right? Maybe?
You would think, however, if you look around, I am sitting in an office. I'm working on a Netflix show right now. It's they haven't released anything to the press yet, so I can't say anything. But I'm in prep week 1 right now on this new series.
Wow, you are very, very busy. And yeah, then because you're doing another Western down the road, like in the fall, are you watching more Westerns now? Is your Western knowledge, or you don't even have time to watch all these movies
I
because
don't
you're
have
too
any time right now, no.
okay. Okay. You're busy. I'm gonna let you go. I really enjoyed Place of Bones.
It
Thank you
was
so much for your
very
time.
nice to meet you. Thank you so
Pleasure.
much.
Okay, take
Bye.
care.